Welcome back to week 4 of the LDL Draft League, everyone. I'm Fungal, and here I'm going to go over just the teams real quick before we hop into the battle. As you can see here, my opponent, Mr. Rufio, actually does not have a fairy type, which is something I always advocate that you should pick up in draft, to make sure that you have counterplay to oppressive dragons, because look at my team over here. I have like 10 dragons over here, so this is going to be a little tough for Rufio on the defensive side, but luckily for him on the offensive side, I'm a bit worried about some of his Pokemon here. This Swampert and this Pelipper are going to be very hard for me to switch into. Of course, I don't have great switch-ins to these mons in general because flying type switch-ins are hard to come by, just like Kuja. And of course, Ice Punch from Swampert combined with Earthquake is basically perfect coverage into my whole team. Gliscor is also going to be a threat, so we're Porygon 2 and Registeel. And I'm not quite sure what the last mon he might bring is. It could be Overquill, could be Scyther, could even be Rillaboom or Ogerpon. Because Ogerpon, of course, does have a very strong play rough and with a very good speed tier into my team. So I'll go over the team I'm bringing really quick. First of all, I have Dragon Dance Dragapult with Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, Dive, and the Power Herb. This will be able to basically break through this team very easily. With Power Herb Dive, I'll be able to do tons of damage to Garg, and everything else basically is destroyed by Dragon Darts except this Registeel, which can be hit by Phantom Force. I'm still worried about this Registeel and this Porygon 2 because Ice Beam and Iron Defense Registeel can do lots of damage to my team for sure. So next up I have Naganadel with Choice Specs. I couldn't afford to run Modest, unfortunately, but it'll still do a ton of damage off this base 127 special attack with this 130 base power Draco Meteor. And of course I'll be able to get up Toxic Spikes just in case I think this Porygon 2 is going to be a big issue because they don't have a great way to absorb it other than Overquill. And they don't have great Hazard removal in general. Next mon I am bringing is this Como. I am bringing Klinger Soul this time for the first time with Lumberry. That way, if something like Gliscor tries to Toxic me, Porygon 2 tries to Thunder Wave me, or Registeel tries to do the same, I can just shrug that off and start attacking with my Drain Punch. And Ice Punch and Thunder Punch makes this have perfect coverage to the team. Destroy Pelipper to destroy Gliscor. Next up is Hydreigon with Taunt and Stealth Rock. I'll hopefully be able to get up my hazards versus something like Gliscor, which might run a defensive set this time. It might also run a sort of offensive set with Sword Stamp. That could also work. But for some more defensive sets and to kind of deal with Garg a bit better, I do have Taunts. Because all I really need is this Draco Meteor and this Earth Power to deal massive damage to this team. It's the only Draco Meteor resist, like Registeel's hit by Earth Power very hard. And of course I am running Modest Max Special Attack and the Check Pack to do as much damage as possible and then get this thing out so I can do it one more time. Next up I have Salamence with the Yachi Berry. With Hurricane, Hydro Pump, Roost, and Tailwind I will be able to abuse their own rain because I do believe they will be bringing Pelipper. And with the Yachi Berry, this will make it an emergency check to Swampert. Hydro Pump means I can actually deal significant damage to Garg. And in general, they don't have great switches to this other than Porygon 2. And Tailwind will enable me to have a kind of emergency check versus a lot of these very fast speed mons like Swampert in rain. Or possibly some sort of Sword Stance, Scale Shot, Gliscor. If that chooses to show itself, I will be able to live that very easily and get up a Tailwind and possibly Hydro Pump it later. Last up we have Cyclizar. This is my Rapid Spinner in case they do get up hazards, because my team is relatively weak to those. I don't like stepping on these rocks. And with this Chava Berry, that makes sure that I can always deal with the Swampert, of course, with Power Whip, with max physical defense, and the Chapa Berry. This thing cannot KO me at +1 with Ice Punch, and the Chapa Berry makes sure that Superpower can't KO me. And it also gives me a little bit more counterplay into this Garg if it chooses to go for a Body Press. And this is the team I'm bringing. I'll bring you guys back for the battle. And we are back for the battle. Rufio here brought a very similar team to what we expected coming into this, except that Ogerpon is a bit of a surprise. Expected Garg maybe in that slot because it's so good versus my team, but definitely a priority will be getting rid of this Swampert, and I'm also kind of scared of this Porygon 2 with possibly Analytic Ice Beams. That could definitely hurt my team a lot here. I definitely want a good neutral lead versus this team, and I think the best one versus that is this Hydreigon. Kind of nothing on their team beats this Hydreigon, gets a very free Stealth Rock or Draco Meteor off, depending on situation, and Earth Power of course can smack this Registeel very hard. So I'm just going to start lead off with this. As I do start off leading with Gliscor, go straight for a taunt. Gliscor can't really touch Hydreigon anyway. The most it can really do to me is click that U-turn. It actually goes for Scale Shot, which is really unfortunate they missed there. This could even be banded. It could KO me here, but I don't really have another play here. Definitely really unfortunate for them. I don't think Gliscor has enough attack to KO my Cyclizar Salamence though. But I'll just go for this Earth Power as they go for that Skill Shot. 1, 2, 3 hits, 4 hits. They do get 4 here, but I'll be getting off my Draco Meteor hopefully. And it does lose all 100 of its HP. Finally get rid of that thing, which is very good. And I'm not sure what this was, but at least it died in one hit to this Hydreigon. In terms of a good neutral switch in for this team, I think I kind of just want to go to my Naganadel with choice specs. It's just extremely hard for Rufio to deal with. That definitely sucks. I think if that did hit the Scale Shot, I would have had to probably go into this thing early, because this would definitely live. Swampert comes in, but I want to say that dies Draco Meteor from this choice specs, because it does not have the Rainbow Swift Swim. If this does choose to Mega, it can possibly be Choice Scarf. I think there's no harm in going into the Salamence right here, just scouting this. It does Mega and it goes for Bulk Up. Let's fine, I'll just go for a Hurricane here. They can't KO me because I do have my Yachi Berry. Get crit, which they're max BDF, which is very unfortunate for them. Go for Waterfall. And I think I'll just get my Tailwind up. I get the Tailwind up. Registeel comes in. I'm not sure what they're planning on doing with that. They might want to get up their own rocks here. I do not have boots on much of my team. Cyclizar does have Rapid Spin, but it doesn't beat Registeel at all. I could switch to Naganadel here, but Flamethrower isn't exactly going to do much if they choose to switch Pelipper afterwards. So I kind of just want to go to Hydreigon here, because it's good mid-ground. I can go for Power if I need to. They go for Ice Spinner, it does not KO me. And I could get up my rocks, or I could go for an Earth Power. And I think I'm gonna offer the rocks this time around, just chip down that Orgrimmon, break the Sturdy, and to hit that Pelipper for some chip damage. As they KO me there with Body Press. And they reveal Body Press. They could be AV on this. I don't exactly know what they are. But if they are Iron Defense, I don't exactly want to go Como on it. So I think I will go Naganadel, click Flamethrower, because no matter what this is, even if this is like a Soulfest or whatever, I still won't take this Flamethrower very well at all, and I don't think they could do much back to me in terms of damage. They do go on Pelipper, and this is why I got the rocks up, because I can't get the chip on this. They do 17, which means I will have to switch out here. I think Cyclizar is a fair switch. I'm kind of expecting a U-turn. They could go for Defog here. They are Specs Hurricane, which means they do knock that out there, but I will be able to get my revenge kill right here with this Naganadel. Because even Registeel, again, even if it's a Soulfest, doesn't switch into this thing at all. Go for Draco, I KO that, I get my boost. Now I expect Swampert probably to come back in. Now they do have limited turns, they have only 2 more turns of rain, so I can always go Salamence, because they can't KO this in one hit, and after that, even if they do end up KOing Salamence, their rain will be gone, they'll be able to get in Naganadel again, and then just kill this thing off. At this point, yeah, I do just want to click Hurricane. So go for Knockoff, they knock off the Yachi Berry. For Hurricane 37, and I do get another Confusion. I'll roost this off. I am still faster now. Go for Waterfall, only do 21. Go for Hydro Pump because it is more accurate than Hurricane, and I do land. I get rid of this. Very good for me. I'm so worried about what the Registeel is. So Ogre Pawn comes in. They could very well have Play Rough to hurt Como, so I don't really want to switch that in. I think I always want to go for Tailwind here because I can't let them do anything like Trailblaze up, because if they do end up being faster than my whole team, that's going to be a big issue. Go for Tailwind here. And then I can't exactly go hard Como because it beats this whole team. I'm just going to go for Hurricane. From them I pray for misses here. I do go for Ivy Cudgel, they knock me out. But since I do have those 2 turns of Tailwind left, I think I could just go Como. I could start Drain Punching because they don't have any switch into those. Alternatively, I could Flamethrower, but I think Drain Punch is the safer play. Do switch into this with the Tailwind up, especially. If they go into Porygon 2 or Registeel, then I could always Clinger Soul afterwards. No, I do get rid of this, which is good. Registeel comes in. I'm not sure what it's planning on doing. I know I always have Naganadel in the back, even this is Iron Defense. And Porygon 2 could be dangerous, but I think I'm okay just Clinger Souling here. Because if they do reveal to be Iron Defense, that isn't going to be the biggest of issues for me. Because I know Naganadel will always beat this thing down. But for this, I just want to scout damage with Drain Punch first. Possibly get back some HP. You get back a nice 20%. And I would say they actually could never KO Naganadel here. I think I'm just going to go hard into it. Because Ice Spinner won't do much to it at all. Body Press, of course, resisted. Yes, they do go for the Iron Defense again. Now I know that they're not AV, so I can just pretty safely Flamethrower here. I could try to Toxic Spike for later for the Porygon 2, but this thing is my biggest threat. I'm not going to risk anything with it. So they do choose to go Porygon. It is max special defense. Okay, this is super especially defensive on Registeel, but it still takes 47, which is really good for later on. This could possibly be rest, which could end up being an issue, but no, it's Flamethrower because here they are in my Drain Punch range, essentially. Time did 36, that was at +1 to +2, so if they ever switch out and come back in and I have a neutral Drain Punch, they'll die. Porygon comes in and traces Beast Boost. It's a little annoying, it takes 27 from that. They could go for Ice Beam here. I don't want to sack Go-O. I always go into Dragon Bolt on this. Go for Ice Beam. It's 57, but I get the disable. This is why I brought Curse Body, it's exactly why. I don't know if they can touch me here. I think my play is always Dragon Dance though. No matter what they do have. Because I don't want them ever recovering up with Registeel. I think even if I didn't disable this, I would just sack this and then go get my chip with Como and then try to sweep with Naganadel. Just here, they go for Recover. I think it would just go for my Dragon Dart here. It's approximately 40%. Go for Shadow Ball. He knocked me out. He did a Defense Boost, which is interesting. But I can go into this here, and then my Draco Meteor should knock this out, provided I land. And it should also be able to knock out Registeel from this range if it chooses to switch in. For this, I do manage to knock that out with the Spikes Meteor, which is very good. Then in terms of Registeel, I believe this might still die to this. We're really fine going for this right now. You do only take 20. Do you reveal rest? No, Ice Spinner. So I believe this will not die to the next one. So I need to save this just in case I do miss that. Because if I go for Draco Meteor, I miss their entire defense. It could be a big choke. The Ice Spinner again, and I think Drain Punch will clean this up. Thankfully. Drain Punch, and we managed to get through this battle by the skin of our teeth. Definitely a very close one. I'm glad I hit all those hurricanes. And I dodged that skill shot. I would have had to play very differently if that didn't miss, and I was able to not land all of my hurricanes. Good game to my opponents. And I will bring you guys back for the next one.